A Dark Adapted Eye is the tale of a family torn apart by secrets.
Francis, I must speak to you.
I've taught Eden everything, and Eden does everything marvelously.
A girl who struggled to unlock the truth.
You should know that Chad and I mean absolutely nothing to one another now.
We're contaminated by Vera, whether we like it or not.
And two sisters whose paths were crossed with tragedy.
You really oughtn't to make fun of Vera. I owe her my life.
A Dark Adapted Eye, beginning next Sunday at 9:10 on BBC1.
Christmas in the Algarve, being shadowed by a furtive Peter Cook and relaxing in luxury accommodation. What more could Victor ask for?
I'd hardly like it to take £3.47 for an aftershave that makes me smell like a donkey, am I?
One Foot in the Algarve, tonight, 9:05 on BBC1.
In 5 minutes, the afternoon news. First, a look at the weather prospects with Peter Cockroft.
Good afternoon. Just when you thought it was safe to venture outside and seek a bargain in the winter sales, we've got this lot coming in from the Atlantic, and we're going to find a right royal battle across the British Isles between that cold Christmas air and milder Atlantic air coming in. But not yet. That's not for today or tomorrow. I think those weather fronts are going to be held out to the west, and it's going to stay cold and most places will be dry. Although the winds will freshen up in the west as those weather systems start to edge in, and we're also going to find a fair breeze blowing across southeastern parts of England. Now, it is going to be very cold this afternoon, particularly up in the Highlands of Scotland, where I think temperatures will find it difficult to get up to around about -6°C. And last night, they got down to -14 degrees. But down through this central section, there will be some breaks in the cloud, a bit of sunshine coming through. The thicker cloud in the east will bring 1 or 2 wintry showers with it, and that thicker cloud, you may have noted out to the west, will bring some outbreaks of light rain, perhaps even some sleet mixed in with that. And then tonight, we could find that cloud pushing in a little bit further from the west. It could bring some sleet and snow to the West Country moors, some snow up over the Welsh mountains, some snow as well just edging into the western side of Scotland. And on the eastern side of the country, still that thicker cloud, still some wintry showers merging together. I think we could find quite a bit of snow up on the North York moors, the Lincolnshire wolds, and even a covering of snow across parts of East Anglia and South East England by the end of the night. No chance of a snowflake or 2 in London. But underneath these clearer skies in the central section, there's likely to be some patchy freezing fog to watch out for. Even so, it is going to be a very cold night everywhere, particularly up in Highland Scotland. A severe frost, temperatures once again getting down to -10°C or even lower. And do watch out for ice on untreated roads tonight. Now, on Boxing Day, a lot of bright weather around up through that central section again, but we will find that cloud still in the east, still some wintry showers there. We will find the clouds still in the west, but I think that rain and sleet will die out for a time before more of it moves in across Northern Ireland later on in the day. And once again, it is going to be a very cold day across the British Isles. So that cold Christmas weather continuing, that is until Tuesday, and that's when things really start to happen as that mild air starts to edge in behind that Atlantic weather front. So it's going to start off cold and frosty in the east, a lot of bright weather, some freezing fog patches, and then the winds will increase in the west, the cloud will thicken up, we'll find some sleet and snow on the forward edge of that rain. I think we're going to find quite a bit of snow falling up over the Pennines, the Cumbrian Fells, and quite a lot of snow to come up over the Highlands of Scotland during Tuesday. Eventually, later on in the day, we'll find the sleet and snow turning back to rain from the west. But I think that is going to be quite a slow process. And as I said, from about the North Midlands northwards, quite a lot of snow to come there. Also windy weather arriving during Tuesday behind that Atlantic weather front. And you'll see through the rest of the week, the strong westerly winds, blustery westerly winds for Wednesday, Thursday and for Friday. Now, we are going to have a weather system crossing the country during Wednesday, and that'll bring some cloud and rain with it. But those strong winds will persist right the way through the second half of the week. So there's that cloud and rain crossing the country. Once that's pushed through, brighter weather coming along with blustery showers. Most of those showers will be in the north and west, and right up over Northern Ireland, northwestern Scotland, they'll turn increasingly wintry once that weather front's push through. So that's later on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. The showers few and far between in the south and east. And that's the week's weather.
Christmas Sunday, and look what Christmas presents we have for you. It's a Songs of Praise special from Wembley with Gloria Gaynor and Cliff Richard. Everyone's going on their Christmas holes this year, but will Hyacinth actually make it? Then Santa's little helper is in need of a little help.
It's an emergency. It's me ears.
We don't do plastic surgery, mate.
From ears to 1 foot in the Algarve.
Last time I was back from a holiday abroad to find our house had been demolished.
Oh, yes. Fanny, you can laugh about it now, can't you?
Then Clint Eastwood is a desperate man.
Hell is where he's headed. Might as well ride along with us. Hell, everybody else is.
Come along for the ride. Christmas Sunday on BBC One.
Have you seen this? It's a new series about a hospital.
I'm sure that'll be very realistic. You're no good, you're diabetic.
Serious, committed doctors. I won't be a moment, I've just got to go and finish my paper round.
What's that?
Health and efficiency.
Oh. Oh, comedy.
Starts Thursday at 8:30 on BBC One.
What sort of mind thinks of these things?
In 5 minutes, a double bill of cartoon fun with Daffy Duck. First on BBC Wales on One, the news with Chris Lowe.
Good afternoon. The government has been severely criticised over its decision to deport 27 more Jamaicans who came here for Christmas. A Labour MP has written to the Prime Minister demanding an explanation. And the only member of the group given temporary admission to the country, Peter Honnigan, has joined leaders of immigration groups and the church in accusing the government of racism.
A stroll on a chilly English winter morning for Peter Honnigan on the right, saved from deportation back to Jamaica only by a desperate Christmas Day High Court move by a solicitor. Christmas came a day late for Mr Honnigan and his English-born relatives in West London. Although formally refused admission, the garage mechanic can now stay here for his intended 4 weeks. Christmas Day had been miserable, held at Gatwick, awaiting deportation.
What do you think about the way the British authorities have treated you?
They treated like very bad, like I committed a crime. And I don't think that is very nice.
You feel like a criminal?
Yeah. That's the first time I've ever been into a cell.
Mr Honnigan and his family claim his treatment and that of the 27 Jamaicans who were expelled yesterday was racist.
Outrageous that they're able to treat people like this. You know, human beings, you know, Christmas and everything, I think. There's no consideration that he's only coming over here on a holiday.
This morning, the Labour MP, Max Madden, handed in a protest letter at 10 Downing Street over the expulsions. But a Conservative, Terry Dix, said the government had every right to send back anybody it wants. Laurie Margolis, BBC News.
A 9-year-old Leeds girl has been placed with foster parents after being found abandoned at her home yesterday. Her father was arrested last night. It's the 4th case of children being left alone at home over the Christmas period. The Health Secretary, Virginia Bottomley, says while the government can help through legislation like the Children Act, childcare involves parents and the whole community.
I believe in the International Year of the Family, we should work together and above all with all those organisations who help parents, Home Start, New Pin, the people who offer the helping hand. Bringing up children is difficult at the best of times. For some people in tough circumstances, it becomes overwhelming. Children need protection and parents need encouragement and confidence. No one can be a parent on their own.
A Downing Street spokesman has described as a purely personal matter the admission by the Environment Minister Tim Yeo that he fathered a child as the result of an affair. Mr Yeo issued a statement through his solicitors confirming that he is the father of the 5-month-old daughter of a Conservative councillor. Bad weather is still preventing gunmen in southern Russia from taking off in a hijacked helicopter. The men are holding 5 hostages. They were paid a ransom yesterday.
On day 4 of this hostage crisis, the helicopter carrying the 5 hostages has been grounded by fog. From a van on the runway nearby, government negotiators have been in virtually constant contact with the kidnappers. The chief mediator, Valentina Petrenko, has been on board the helicopter and says it's packed with high explosives. She followed it in another aircraft when the hijackers tried to fly further south today. They returned within 2 hours, though, because of poor visibility. Throughout the drama, relatives of the hostages have been desperately waiting for news. Most of the school children kidnapped on Thursday have now been released, but 2 boys are still being held, as well as a bus driver and the 2 pilots of the helicopter. One of the children who was freed yesterday said the kidnappers have been treating their hostages relatively well, keeping them fed and even playing cards with them.
Serb gunners around Sarajevo have been in action again today, ignoring the latest ceasefire. As a result of the shelling, the city's electricity and water supplies have been cut.
Sporadic shelling continued through the night, and explosions rock the city every few minutes. There are also sustained exchanges of automatic rifle and machine gun fire. It appears to be coming from around Grbavica, the Serbian-held area a few hundred yards away, where fighting has intensified over the past couple of weeks. The shelling of other frontline areas has, over the past 2 days, severed both the power lines which were supplying the city with some electricity. This has meant that the water pumps are out of action, so supplies are restricted to low-lying areas, several close to the front lines, where queues are vulnerable to artillery and snipers.
And that's all for now. The next news is at 6 o'clock.
Boxing Day on BBC One. At 6:25, Aladdin Jim conjures up some fairy tale faces, some with feathers, in a big break pantomime party. And at 7, trouble down south for Ian McShane with an old friend from Dallas.
What's my little sister been telling you?
About what? Then at 8:35, Close Encounters.
Oh, yes. Aliens, is it?
Are you totally deranged? A whiff of dangerous comedy at 9:25. As John Cleese heads an all-star cast in A Fish Called Wanda. Don't call me stupid. Then at 11:10, in a special concert of hope recorded on World AIDS Day, George Michael tops the bill at Wembley Arena. Boxing Day on BBC One.
To anyone within the sound of my voice, this is Captain James T. Kirk of the Federation Starship Enterprise. A hostile force has taken control of our vessel. You are mad. We'll see.
Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, New Year's Eve, 6:30 on BBC One.
Using the combined talents of Spitting Image, Roy Hudd and Sting,
Let me tell you a story.
BBC Two presents a dazzling new performance of Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf. Peter and the Wolf, this afternoon at 4:25 on BBC Two.
Here on BBC Wales on One, in 15 minutes, the omnibus edition of EastEnders. Now on BBC Wales on One, here's a bird that's no turkey, Daffy Duck.